Hmm. Hi there. As I came to the computer this morning and scrolled through some of my newer emails, I had one from the Mayan Majix people, from Mike Shore, announcing that today is the beginning of the third day in this ninth wave. Yesterday was the last day of the second night, and this third day is identified as sprouting. And as I read this, I thought, hallelujah, the third day starts today. For me, the second night ended with some deep introspection. Lots of shoulding going on. Everybody telling me what I should do. Well, not everybody, but a number of people. And shoulding, when I get should on, it never feels really, really good. Because most often I already have enough shoulding going on in my own consciousness, in my own mind chatter. And to have other people reinforce it and increase the volume doesn't always feel like a wonderful thing. And as I dealt with detachment and attachments yesterday to outcomes, it certainly pushed a lot of buttons for a lot of people. And a lot of people told me, the importance of letting go and trusting God. And it's really easy when I'm riding at the top of a wave and feeling the exhilaration and all the adrenaline is flowing and pumping really well through my body. It's really easy to uplift everyone. But on those days when you're being dumped off your surfboard, and I'm not a surfer, so I don't have the personal experience, but I've observed it, getting tossed into the ocean. It doesn't always feel good. You know what I'm talking about? And I have vowed to tell the truth and to be vulnerable. Yesterday I got an email from the young man who has the video from Sue's message about Jesus a couple of Sundays ago now that I've wanted so desperately to share with everybody. And I thought, oh good, I'll be able to finally start that tomorrow. And then the link that he gave me to download the file was totally a wrong link. And I sent it to him saying, hey, this one doesn't work. There's no file there. And I actually sent him a copy of the page of the link that he sent me, and he never responded back. So shucks, I got to deal with what I'm dealing with instead of shifting over to something altogether different, which would probably have been more uplifting for me and for everybody else. But Spirit says, no, you're going to deal with what you've been dealing with, and you're going to tell the truth. I got an email from a friend in Canada, Kelly, yesterday, who asked the question, have you ever considered that your YouTube channel is more for your own benefit than others? And he also went on to say, it has been my experience that sometimes this requires eating some crow. It doesn't taste very good going down, but it feels good in your belly. And I wrote back to Kelly, yes, I get great pleasure out of what I am doing, and it makes me feel really happy to know that it is helping a lot of people. I feel validated for all the years I spent learning and thinking outside the box, during which time very few understood. No matter what, I am committed to sharing daily as long as I am able to do so. It's a task I relish with great delight, even when I feel challenged as I do this time. No, the plan I had for help from the Republic was shot down due to turmoil here in Florida with two factions vying for control. It's a mess. I'm going to skip the rest of what my response was. The concluding part of it was, that never feels good for me, and as for eating crow, I've done it more than once, and I certainly have. One of the things that we emphasize again and again to those that come and do the workshop with Margie and myself and others that are here to help people integrate some of the traumas that they've had in their lives and to come to a place of love. One of the things that we teach repeatedly has to do with embracing our feelings as they are. No shoulding. It's not you should feel this way and you shouldn't feel that way. We do that to ourselves all the time. Our culture, that whole concept of shoulding is embedded in our culture. When we've been taught from little children to suppress the bad feelings and to not express the anger or the sadness because we're supposed to feel good. And oftentimes parents teach this to our kids. We know religions teach it to us. It's even taught to us and reinforced in a school that we're not allowed to experience the down part where the waves dump us into the ocean. We're not supposed to feel the bad feelings. We're supposed to only feel the good feelings. And if we feel the bad feelings, get over it. I mean, for God's sake, get over it. You know, that's what we're taught again and again and again. Just get over it. Let it go. Don't be attached to something, because when you're feeling bad, it's because you're attached. You're doing something wrong. It's telling you you're doing something wrong, or otherwise you wouldn't feel bad. Nobody does that any better than I do it to myself. I mean, I've been doing it to myself my whole life. And I don't even follow the advice. Oftentimes when I'm feeling these down feelings, I don't follow the advice that I've given others to follow. It's easy when you're feeling good and somebody else is feeling bad to tell them get over it. It's easy to do that. But as I said in that little response to Kelly, my response regarding this whole matter that is before the courts and the threatened sale of my auctioning of my property, my home, which comes up in less than 3 weeks now. I mean, I had a plan. I came up with what I thought was a workable plan. And I was told by people in the Republic that I contacted that because of all the turmoil in Florida, they don't think now is a good time to follow through with that plan. It could potentially backfire and produce a worse result. That was like putting a pin in my balloon, because when I think I know what I'm going to do and when I know how I'm going to respond to something, I'm feeling empowered. When I'm not able to draw to myself the help and the support that I need, it deflates that. You could say, well, it deflates the ego, Ron, and that's a good thing. Ego deflation is a good thing. You're going to have to eat crow, Ron. And I get this message from people and from my own conscience, my own mind chatter, my own out of control ego. And yes, I have an ego, and so do you, and so does everyone. There's an awful lot of spiritual people that deny their ego, and there's some that even claim that they don't have one anymore. I'd like to meet that person when the chips are down, when things aren't going well in their life, and when the ego is saying, "Ha, I told you so. I told you so." As I said, I've vowed to share my truth. And yes, I do it for me, because it's important for me to be able to find someone to hear my truth and to support me, not to should on me, not to judge me, but just simply to love me right where I am. It's important for me, and I have the tremendous blessing for which I am grateful beyond measure, beyond words, of being able to share my truth with a fairly wide audience around the world, and to receive messages of love and support from lots of people. One of my friends in New Mexico, the ones that are starting a pod in New Mexico, that is another new way. People of Diversity is what POD stands for. Suggested that the audience around the world get together and do meditation to support me at this time. And God knows I'd surely appreciate that. Because sometimes the support or the areas that you thought the support would come from aren't there. They just aren't there. As I said, I got more information from the Republican, and that faction that has broken away from the Republican is doing their own thing. They think they're doing a wonderful thing, and good things are going to happen within the next 2 weeks, and I'll see it. I'm sorry, I don't see how more separation and more everybody doing their own thing and not being willing to work together on the same page and throwing insults back and forth and breaking up what has already been done. I don't see how that could possibly be a good thing. It has been an extremely serious disappointment for me in what I thought was a very wonderful plan to retake and reseat the Republic in America and in each state that would spread to the whole world. And I see it disintegrating by factions that claim to be the voice of the people, but what they are, as I see it, is just a dictatorship where they're demanding and threatening other people within the Republic and saying, if you won't play with us, we're gonna break up your house, we're gonna knock down your house and start our own house, build our own house and start our own game, because we're not going to play your game, because it appears to us that you're not liking what we're doing, and so yours is top down, and you don't accept us, and so we're gonna do a real bottoms up government. Watch. I'm sorry, I've been watching, and the energy doesn't feel good for what these people are doing, and some of them are my friends, or at least I thought they were my friends, and they probably are. Actually, everybody's my friend. Some are working on the dark side to push my buttons, and they're doing it on purpose and with design, and it's the design of spirit. And everything works for good to those that love, and I'm one of those that love. I love me, I love you. To the best of my ability, I love the whole world. Yes, the world is challenging. Yes, I feel angry sometimes. Yes, I am saddened by what I see oftentimes in the world. The heart is torn out of me as I watch videos of violence in the Gaza Strip and in Israel and in other places of the world where people's rights are being downtrodden. I looked yesterday briefly at Obama's message of returning to the 1967 boundaries in Israel and telling Israel, honor the boundaries, set up a Palestinian state. I don't know if he actually said that, but he commented about people's rights being downtrodden in other parts of the world. But don't believe, and I didn't read the whole text, and it was long, but I don't believe he recognized how people right here in America, right here in the United States, and in the free world are also having their rights trodden upon by an oppressive, imperialistic state. Right here in America, right there in Europe and England and throughout Europe, people's rights are being downtrodden and just as if they don't even exist by those that are exerting their power and their authority and not recognizing the individual sovereignty that is the foundation of human law, certainly of British law that has spread around the world. They've replaced it with an imperialistic, dictatorial rule that totally denies individuals our freedom. Anyway, I'm glad it's the third day. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I don't know what's going to sprout during this period of time. I think it's going to be some wonderful things. But I've shared with you this morning what's going on with me and given you some reflection of what's going on in the world, what's going on in the Republic, what's going on in Israel. Think about these things. Ponder them. And I appreciate the support of all of my friends. And I support you to the best of my ability as well. We're in this together. And I truly believe that if we choose to continue to love each other where we are, only good will come from it. And that's what's sprouting for me. It's just a little bit of hope and a little bit of faith that today is going to be better than yesterday. And that soon I'll be riding the crest of the wave again. I love you, and I thank you for loving me. And how you feel is how you feel. Don't let people should on you, and don't should on yourself. Don't do what I do so often. Do what I'm telling you. Namaste.